Sit, hike.
19-year-old Johnny Garcia grew up in southeast San Diego in a low-income neighborhood riddled with drugs, gangs, and crime. At first blush, it might seem unusual that he would have a lot in common with one of the owners of a Major League Baseball team. But tragedy can connect people in the unlikeliest of ways. Eight years ago, Johnny's mom Eleanor died in her sleep unexpectedly.
I just remember my brother crying hysterically and him telling me, mom's gone. And I said, what do you mean mom's gone? He said, mom's dead.
Padres chairman Ron Fowler also knows loss. 17 years ago, his son, Brad, died in a car accident after battling drug addiction for more than a decade.
He was incredibly bright, incredibly personable, but he got lost. And, meth was the drug that really took him the wrong direction. He passed away at age 31. He tried his best, but drugs just got the best of him.
The tragedy of losing Brad was just horrible on any parent, especially on Ron. And I think people see the very public Ron these days as the executive chairman of the Padres, but he has such a soft heart and a caring heart, and it tore him apart, and it was real difficult. We came up with an idea of trying to take something horribly tragic and turning it into something really good and special.
The first awards for the Brad Fowler Memorial Scholarship were handed out in 2002. Each year, the foundation gives college scholarships to high school seniors who have used education and athletics to overcome hardships at home or in their communities. Students are honored at an annual luncheon. To date, 96 teenagers have had the opportunity to go to college, and most of them are the first in their families to do so.
It is gut-wrenching to read the applications for these stories, to learn what our youth and our community are going through with addiction, family tragedies, or abuse, and that's who the Brad Fowler Scholarship touches, is these kids who have found it in themselves to take a cycle of destruction and use education and athletics to pull themselves out and have a goal to go on and get a degree in higher education.
I have a pretty doggone lucky life, privileged life. And it brings you back to reality. When you hear the stories or see some of the kids and hear what they've been up against, it's really compelling to want to give them a new opportunity.
Stories like Kevin Ortiz, who struggled with a hearing impairment from birth and has now graduated UCSD with a mechanical engineering degree. Or Jasmine Quintanilla, who grew up in an environment filled with drug use and a parent in and out of prison, who is now at Cal State San Marcos, majoring in criminal justice. Trish Turner, who bounced around in the foster care system after years in an abusive home environment and is now playing soccer at the collegiate level. And then there's Johnny Garcia, who faced a tough decision after his mom died when he was 12.
I went through a year of depression. I actually just started hanging around with the wrong influences. The odds were against me. From the family background I come against, with drug addicts and gang members, with a low-income community that I live in, with living in now a single-parent household, a death of a parent, those odds can bring someone down. Then I found a letter from my mom. She said this, and it's gonna stick with me for the rest of my life. She said, just because you've done some bad things doesn't make you a bad person. And reading that, literally, it settled in my heart that I gotta get right.
Garcia went on to play 4 years of varsity football at Lincoln High School and graduated with honors. Colleges came calling, but Garcia's father couldn't afford to send him. One of his football coaches encouraged him to apply for the Brad Fowler Memorial Scholarship.
But I said, I'll never get that scholarship. That would never happen to me. Why would they want a low-income kid from Lincoln High School? And I just remember literally when they sent the email and they gave me a call for the scholarship. I remember crying because literally it was like these people care about me and they want to see me succeed in my life. And I'm the first one to graduate high school. I'm the first one to go to college, and I'm the first one that graduated college. I actually just graduated Grossmont, and I have 2 associate degrees, one in administration of justice and one in social behavioral sciences. And if it wasn't for the Brad Fowler Scholarship, I honestly don't know where I would be.
Garcia now works for the County of San Diego in the Child Services Department and also spends time mentoring and motivating youth in the community.
Because if we become grateful, then we'll learn to not take things for granted. And when you don't take things for granted, great things come your way.
That's the beauty of the program, is every one of these young kids is a role model. And so many of them are starting to give back on top of it.
Time does not heal all wounds.
Still seems like yesterday. Just can't replace Brad, but I think something good has come out of something bad.
The pain never goes away, that the pain never subsides, that it's just always there. But the hardest thing is learning to live with it. Because of people, like Ron, now I can be a light in the community. The Brad Fowler Scholarship literally was just the best thing that happened to me. And his legacy is living on. And I'm a part of his legacy. I'm a part of the scholarship, and I'm a part of the Fowler family, And I think that's the biggest thing, is that we're not doing this alone.
2 unlikely friends connected by tragedy, turning pain into purpose.